Hi there, and welcome to the Neckpour. My name's Lewis, and welcome to the Whisky Review channel, where I give you my thoughts and opinions on a particular bottle of whisky, from the Neckpour all the way down to the Dregs. You join me here today for the Dregs of a bottle of whisky I've really enjoyed so far, and that's the Bunnahabhain Stiùireadair. This is a non-age stated whisky available in the UK supermarkets, and in my Neckpour of the video up there, I thought this might be the best whisky available for less than 30 quid in the supermarkets in the UK. But after spending a bit of time with the bottle, stay tuned to the end to see if you find out whether that's still the case or whether my thoughts have changed slightly. Before we get into today's video, I would just like to ask if you could drop a like on the video, drop me a comment if you've got thoughts on this particular bottle of whisky or anything else in the supermarkets you think that stands up to this, or there's anything you'd like to see me review. And if you really enjoy the content, please do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're informed next time I post. But before we go any further, I think it'd be only fitting to pour ourselves a little dram. Now, it's a bit hard to tell exactly how much is left of this, being a dark bottle. It is just about see-through, but I think I'm somewhere down here, and I do want to leave myself enough to put into my infinity bottle, so I'm not going to go too crazy with what I pour here. And even on a bright sunny day, I can still barely see anything in there. So we'll pour that for now and we'll leave it there. This is and has been a really, really enjoyable bottle of whisky. It's light, it's approachable, but at the same time, there's still a huge depth of flavour to it. There's still lots and lots of different things. It's still unmistakably from an island and coastal, despite being unpeated, which is rare for an Islay whisky. It's a lovely 46.3%. It's non-chill filtered, it's natural colour, it's everything we're wanting from a whisky. The only thing I would like to see is I would like to know the ages. Despite being young, that's not a problem, but I would just like to know the actual age of this whisky, and I personally think the SWA's rules should be changed and should be allowed to see exactly what's in it. You should be able to see how much of it is 5 years, how much is 4 years, how much is 7 years, how much is 3 years, as opposed to this thing of you can only disclose the youngest and you shouldn't tell anyone anything else that's in there. But I think that's crazy personally, because there's certainly some stuff that's older in this. I mean, not hugely old, but it's not new makey or anything like that, despite being a young whisky. On the nose, lovely sea air, little bit of dried fruits, lots and lots of nuts, a little bit of dark chocolate. But overall, for a sherry matured whisky, which I think this is, it states on the bottle that it's a high proportion of sherry. So I would say it's probably going to be at least 50% sherry matured. It's not super sweet. It's actually much more savoury on the nose. It's only sort of on the palate and the finish that sweetness comes through. Let's give it a little sip. There's plenty of sherry that comes through on the palate in those baking spices. But again, there's still that salinity there in a really enjoyable way. And there's also a kind of like a bit like a malt loaf, something like that, I would say. That kind of sweet, sticky, raisiny kind of thing. You could say it's Christmas pudding, but it's not as spiced. It's more sweet and sticky. And then on the finish, it's reasonably astringent for a whisky that's not spent a huge amount of time in oak. I'd say there must be some pretty active barrels they're using to turbo age this. because it's got a nice sherry astringency, which kind of mixes in with a kind of dark chocolatey note to give that drying, really high cocoa percentage chocolate kind of mouthfeel. And then again, it's just big and oily and mouth coating to finish with. And overall, it's just a really, really enjoyable experience for a whiskey that you can enjoy just as a bit of a turn my mind off and just have a sip throughout the evening, reading a book, watching the TV, whatever you're doing. Or you can sit there and you can kind of analyse it and go into it. And I think that's a really great thing, to have a whiskey that you can do both with. That not only is it just a drink it, sip it, don't think too much about it and enjoy it, but to also then be able to spend a bit of time, break it down and think through the flavours in your head. I think that's where you want to be, for me, as someone who's a bit more on the enthusiast side of things. I want to be able to, even on my daily drinkers, spend a bit of time thinking about them. And for me, that's just exactly what this is. You know, it's a really good option. I would just put a tiny drop of water in this, because that is actually how I particularly enjoy this. Just slightly watered down, nothing crazy. It doesn't need it. It's not super strong. It's not a big cask strength Bolshe whiskey, but you know, I just think it opens up a lot of that coastal note and brings just a bit more depth. And really makes the whiskey much more savoury and much more nutty. There's almost even a kind of salted nut to this, like an almond, and with that little bit of water in there. And if anything, with the water, that finish just gets longer and longer and longer, which is absolutely lovely. But, you know, back to the original point, and to answer the question, is this the best whiskey in a UK supermarket for under 30 quid? I think you'd be very hard pressed, unless there was something on a ridiculously good offer, to beat this, personally. I think it's really, really good whiskey. It's well made. It's got 2 out of the 3 of the natural stats that I'm wanting from a whiskey. And it's under 30 quid. I mean, this bottle's pretty much gone, but this is as close as anything I've drunk, I would say, this year or in the last year, to becoming a perma-shelf bottle. You know, it's really, really enjoyable. It's something that's kind of enjoyable on all occasions. I've had it on cooler winter's days. Today it's 31 degrees outside, and it's not too much to drink in this kind of weather. And yeah, next time I see it on a good offer, I'll be picking up another bottle. Or if one of the other Bunnahabhains is on such a good offer, then that'll be coming home with me instead. But no, at £27, this is ridiculous value, ridiculously good, and so available. And I would wholeheartedly recommend to any of you guys, go out there, pick up a bottle. You're not going to regret it. This is really, really nice whiskey. And if you see, you know, the 12, if it's only a couple of quid more, something like that, obviously feel free, take a step up, get the age stated version. I have tried a couple of drams of the 12 in the past, and it's probably slightly better than this. But if you factor in that now is retailing some places at 45 quid and this is 27 quid, you know, that is a value proposition that's up to your wallets to decide. But other than that, I'd just like to say thank you all so much for joining me here today to review this bottle and to film the Dregs. I'd love to see you again for another episode of the Dregs, the Neckpour, or just my thoughts and opinions on whiskey. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do hit me with a like below. Please do drop me a comment if you've got any thoughts on this particular bottle of whiskey, anything you think's better in the supermarkets that's readily available, or there's something you'd like to see me review. Please do hit subscribe and the notification bell so the next time that I post, you're notified of it. But other than that, until the next time, I like to say cheers, Salancha, and I'll see you again.